Hi. Today we're going to have a go at making a poof, or as this pattern says, it's a colourful relaxation hassock. This one I got from All Free Sewing, and basically I'm not making this one because I wanted to use some 2.5 strips that I had left over because I want to get rid of that. And I like the fact that it looks a bit puffier when you use this type. I'm using a 1.8 stitch to make it dig in and to make it tighter so you can get that puffiness. Basically all I want is just an idea of what I have to do, and this one is 69.5 inches long, which then goes around the circles, and the circles are 22 inches from one side to the other, which makes it 11 inch from the centre out. So obviously then if you've got someone that can do the math for you, just to check that whatever diameter you want to do on the top, then obviously what you put round the centre has to equal. My brother told me on the computer you do 22, because that's 22 inches across from one side to the other, times 22, and I think it was over 7. It was over 4 or over 7. Anyway, it worked out to 69.14, which basically is 69.5 inches. I should do a bit extra just to make sure, just in case I have problems getting it together. For my top, I'm using up leftovers. I've got some petite legs left. So what I should probably do is a square, and put 4 squares together to sort of match some of the colours that I've got at the side, and then from the centre point of the square out to mark 11, 11, 11, and then make a circle that way. So therefore this is how far I've got at the moment. What you're basically doing is just sewing strips and just keep going. You can do squares, you can go any leftover fabric whatsoever, or you can buy fabric for it, or you can actually follow all the instructions on this. This is a little bit too in depth for me. It's got cording at the top, and it's also got fusible fleece and a foam insert. Well, I've got plenty of stuff in the cupboard. Took that toy stuff in, so I've got plenty of that I can use. I'm quite happy. I've got all these leftover pieces of fabric. I'm quite happy with the stripes. Obviously I am sewing directly onto the foam, but basically because you've got 2 pieces together even from the start, you're actually not directly onto this, you're sewing straight onto your cotton fabric, and that's from the beginning. I've got them all lined up at the top in the order that I'm doing it. So I'll just show you that there. They're all in line. So just plan it a little bit, or you can do scraps. You don't have to do straight lines. You can go over Scrappy from one corner to another and make it diagonal, and then start lifting them up and make it go the other way. You can do whatever you wish to do. It's entirely up to you. I'll get to the end of this and cut it to the desired measurement, and then I'll come back and show you. Right, I'm at the point where I've done my circle. So I've put 4 together to make a square. I've used my sellotape. I know it's got to be 11 inches from the centre. So there's my centre. It's not where, because I wanted to look off centre. So your centre is anywhere that you wish to start. Basically then 11 inches from there, and then you mark it to the end, and then you just keep going round, making sure this is in the centre of your centre spot. Mark 11 inches, mark it, mark it, mark it. Basically do half. Then I use this. I've put lots of marks all the way around and then I use this. I think you know what one of these, it's like a dressmaker's. It's in cardboard, you can get them off the internet, and then just copy around it onto cardboard. And then use this to join the marks wherever it looked best, and then fold it in half and press it to make sure it's exactly folded in the correct place, and then leave it like that because you've drawn half. Cut it, and then voila, there's your circle. So, and that's your circle, and it's just off centre. I finished doing my roll. I'll just put you down and then we'll have a look at that. So that's the roll all together, all done all the way across. Just take this pin out because I was using that just to keep it together on the machine. So that's that. Now I've got to cut that. I want to go back on the internet to check the measurements. But I'm quite happy, and what I probably will, because I wanted to go in front to there, I'll measure to the top of the cushion and do it just below, and I think it'll be about 15 inches. And then of course, now I've got to do another circle. That's the top. This circle is the top, and I've got to do another circle to match that for the bottom. And hopefully when I'm sewing it on, I should sew the top on first. So I've got two circles. There's one, you've already seen, and that's more scrap for the bottom. So it's two circles, and I've measured my chair, and it was about 16, so I've cut this at 16 because if I do half an inch that'll make it 15, so that'll be just below the where you sit. And so hopefully, now if I have to do more, I've got no problem if I have to make it an inch. If it's easier to sew by doing an inch or 3/4, then I will. I'm still happy with what height it'll stay at. So that's the sides and two circles, and I should do the top first, and basically right side, and this is the side I shall start with first, which is better. That's the one I want to start with first, and then basically, well, if I tell you what, if I turn it that way, and because what I want to do is when I get to the end, I can start anywhere across there and just start pinning. I don't know if you can see. I can't see whether you can see or not. Let's have a look. So just start pinning on the top there, and then you have to ease it in. And if I were you, I would sew with this. Your sides are on the bottom. I am using a walking foot because it's quite thick, because then you can lift this up and ease it around the side. So just like that, start pinning it, then you can ease it as you're going along to fit in, because this is the circle is the one that's going to have more give for you to manipulate. So put the sides on the bottom. Don't worry about that. Make sure that you are measuring. Put some tape or something you can measure, so it's easier to see where the half an inch mark. So you ain't got to think about a number or something all the time. Then you can lift this up and manipulate it in as you're going round. I shall start off by sewing just there, because I'm not sure how long it's got to be to fit in that circle. So I shall leave that much this side, that much the other side, finish it all off with pins, and then I'll know exactly how it's got to be sewn together down the side, and then fit it back into the circle to finish it off. As you can see, I've sewn nearly all the way around. I've pinned the first bit that I started. I want to keep this end. It's this end I want to cut off. So I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing because I'm standing in front of it. So it's ½ inch. It was easier than what I thought. It was really easy. So if I can do it, anybody can. I've measured up until, if I want 1/4 inch one side, and 1/4 inch, that's ½ inch. So I've measured past where the one I want to start with comes there. This is the one I want to cut off, and so it's halfway in between that white. So I've made a nick. Now I should cut that off, take a leap of faith, sew that 1/4 inch together, unpin this so I've got it all free, and then finish inserting that circle, and fingers crossed it fits. Okay, so that worked, because there's the join down there. Just making sure you're getting this in shot. There's the join, and that's where it comes across. I had to just pull slightly at the end, so what I should have done was reattach with pins, and then I could have manipulated it a bit further away. But never mind, it's gone on. It's not, it doesn't seem as if it's pulling or anything. So that's the top half. That's the top bit done. And now what we've got to do is right size together with, now if I had some foam, I would cut the circle out and stick it to the top to make the top firmer, but I haven't, so I just have to rely on my stuffing to be firm. Now I should do right size together with the bottom. It doesn't matter where I start, because wherever on a circle the beginning is the end is the beginning. So then I'll come back and we'll see how we get on. Right, this is what it looks like when you've finished doing the bottom. Obviously remember, it's still right sides to right sides when you're sewing it. And then obviously you only go so far round. A, to turn it out, and B, you need to stuff it. But obviously when I finish stuffing, I think you're not going to be able to get it back. You're not going to be able to get it back on the machine, so you might have to finish that with hand. So just leave enough to make it easier to stuff and to get your hand in and out, and then that, and reinforce either side, because there's going to be a lot of pushing and towing and turning and tugging, so you want to reinforce them with the sewing machine at the start and finish. So let's turn it out. Run your hands around it, just to make sure it's all pushed out in the edges, and your everything's going to lie right. Lift it up, just give you a rough idea. It's not going to stand or anything, but there you go. That's how tall it is. I shall measure it, and that's the bottom, that's the top, and we'll start stuffing it and I'll come back. Hi, well there it is. All its glory. This is what I used, just ordinary stuffing, and I've got a great massive bag full, so I've still got loads left, but there it is. It'll never be pretty, as in completely square or anything like that, because it's material, it's soft, and it's got no firm structure, but I'm happy with that. I should live with it for a little while and use it, put my feet on it. If you've got any kiddies, you know, that's absolutely ideal, because the kids would love to sink into them, to sit down. I didn't expect it to be that big, so obviously that, if you look at the size of the chair, then that gives you an idea that it's actually quite a big, large poo. So if you just want it for your feet, you could make it smaller. So I would do, instead of 11 inches across to make it a 22-inch round top, I would cut that down to say 8 inches and do an 8 inches diameter all the way round, and wherever that turns out to be. But yeah, I've used all my scraps up. I like green. I've tried to use as much green as possible so it should match my settee. And I wanted, usually I put my feet on a little table I've got, and that was rather too hard, so this is ideal because my feet just sink into the top. There you go. So